So we're going to position ourselves on the mat, knees up at 90 degrees and back stays tight against the floor, ensuring the core is braced throughout this movement. Here we're going to actually move from left to right, nice and slowly, and when we do so we're going to make sure our shoulders are staying flat on the mat, and when we go to the left we look to the right. This is just going to loosen up the lower back, ready for some squatting and lower body exercise. Once we're done here, we're going to move on to some rollovers. So as you can see, pretty self-explanatory. Legs come above the head and then we're just reaching forward, ensuring that we're keeping a nice long neutral spine. We're not overarching in any way, and as you go through the reps, just increase that stretch ever so slightly. So rollovers done, now into pigeons. Get yourself in the press up position, back stays nice and straight. Then we're going to bring one knee up to the middle of the hands and then lean into the stretch, and you should feel the stretch across the glutes. We're trying to target the piriformis muscle, which will actually help you when it comes to squatting. So again, we're not overworking the stretches in any way. This is just dynamic warming up, getting the body primed for action, and we'll go for 6 reps here again. So you should be feeling like you're getting warm now. The nervous system's getting warmed up, blood's starting to pump, and let's move on to the next exercise. Just going to check my form here, make sure everything's looking good. Now we're going to move on to the kneel and hip flexor stretches. So we're going to get ourselves down on one knee and we're going to rock backwards and forwards. You should feel this stretch in the top of the hip. Each time when you come forward, squeeze the glute just to increase that stretch. Also, what you want to be looking at here is not overarching the back in any way. Keep the spine nice and neutral. And again, just ease into it. Each stretch, just increase that range of motion. And what we're trying to aim for here is to get blood to the joints and increase that synovial fluid. Therefore, our joints become more lubricated when we're actually doing the movements. Now we're going to move on to Cossack squats. Just going to put our legs quite wide like shown, and then we're just going to lean over in almost a lateral lunge. Here we're going to try and keep the back nice and straight, and then reaching out, and we're going to feel that stretch in the adductor muscles. And the aim of this is just to make it more comfortable when you're in the bottom of the hole in a squat or lunge position or whatever you're going to be doing. So we're at the squat lunge combo now, where we're going to lunge forward, then we're going to lunge backwards. We're going to do this with either leg, then we're going to jump into a squat. What we're looking for in the squat is good form, back stays nice and straight, and we're sinking that pelvis down and exploding back up. Here we're going to do this for 10 times, and this should really start to get you warm by now. If you feel 10 reps is too much, then feel free to cut it down to 5 or 6. So now we're going to do some 4-point drills, and these are called fire hydrants. The aim of these is we're actually looking for the medial glutes to do the work here. We're not swinging with our knee. The movement's actually initiated from the glutes, and we're going to do 6 circles clockwise and then 6 circles anti-clockwise. You should start to feel the glutes burning on this one, and this is just going to help for stabilizing the hip joint. So when we're actually into the squat position, we've got a little bit more stability down there. Now that the hip joints are opened up, we're going to actually look to do some hip extension work in the form of glute bridges. So here we're going to aim 6 reps, and we're using the glutes again to get up in this movement, squeezing the hamstrings, squeezing the glutes. We're coming up fast, but then we're dropping ourselves down really slowly. So after this, we're going to move across to the wall. I'm just going to reposition the camera and we're going to work on some ankle mobilization. The ankles are quite problematic for a lot of people who spend a lot of time sitting. So therefore, when we're actually in a squat position, we need a good range of dorsiflexion to get good, efficient movement. So we're just going to place our foot 6 inches from the wall, and then we're going to rock backwards and forwards, trying to touch the wall with your knee. Here we're going to do 12 on each leg, nice and slowly, there's no hurry, and you should feel it down the back of your calf and your soleus muscles. So the last exercise now is some calf raises. Here, nice and simple, 12 repetitions, just exploding up and coming slowly down. This will almost conclude the warm-up, and then we'll be ready to attack the workout with vigour. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do some explosive squat jumps. So we're going to position ourselves, we're going to bring hands up towards the head, we're going to flick the hands back, and then we're just going to jump up as high as we can, and we're looking for 5 explosive reps with a nice soft land. And now we're going to move on to the workout itself, so let's go.